Hello everyone, welcome to another series of Hot Talks, Food for Thought brought to you by HOTS Education. Some of you might have already know that HOTS Education is a learning center based on North Jakarta, Indonesia to be exact. And we have just recently launched our online platform, www.hotsedu.com. We have been getting a lot of questions about this online platform and how can the HOTS education help the students through the online platform. So in this series today, we have the very owner and founder of HOTS education, Ms. Susi Sumarno. Thank you for joining us today.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Miss Leah. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you so much, Ms. Susi, for coming. For most people who haven't know about you, can you introduce yourself first?
My name is Susi Sumarno. I have master degree in finance and I got my education in America. I'm currently the owner of HOTS Education, which is located in North Jakarta. HOTS Education started in January 2012. So it's going to be 10 years in 2022.
Can you tell us a little bit more about how HOTS Education first established? What came to mind?
Okay, so it was actually an impromptu decision. It started when I sent my daughter to attend her Chinese tuitions in one of the center. And during that time, I saw in one classroom with one oval table, there were students from various levels. So from maybe lower primary to the highest GC levels with one teacher in that particular classroom. So when I look at it, I know that the lesson will be ineffective. I also sent my daughter to school. I sent her meals. Other mothers at school, we talked about doing something useful during our free time because I'm not the type that is going out for arisan or hang out in a cafe. And since we have the idea I can get the partners, so some of the mothers and myself decided to go ahead to start this education center. From the time when we thought about it until when we really make it happen, it took us only 6 months actually.
To establish this place. And it started as an offline learning institution, correct?
Yes, it was an offline learning center for
So
international
for the whole 6
school.
months, may I ask why are you focusing in international curriculum?
First of all, because my daughter also attended international school, in North Jakarta, and it is also the curriculum that I'm very familiar with. The intention is to help students from international school actually when it first started.
Okay. What were the struggles of running a learning institution, Miss?
We do have a few struggles. I mean, the first of all is after, like 1.5 years of operations, turn out education business is not the kind of business that give you a huge profit. That made my partner left the business and I become the sole owner after that. And also there's a lot of expectation from parents when they attend our center, they want to see an immediate result, very high test grade or even perfect score. And while we are in education business, we couldn't expect something that is instant, because it's involved learning process. Those are the main struggles actually. And then sometimes shortage of meeting the expectation of the parents make the students turn over quite quickly. Because maybe parents expect like students improve within 1 or 2 weeks or even a month after they attend the talk, while actually learning process is more than that. Because we are not selling product, there's a lot of things involved in the learning process. Basically, those are the main struggles that we face over the years.
Okay, so that was before the pandemic happened, right? What about after the pandemic?
After the pandemic, we have to be forced to become online, right? So it was an offline learning becoming online. And a lot of the children are not used to it. Also parents actually, they feel that online learning is very ineffective. So a lot of them pull out for that reason. Also, a lot of businesses are affected by the pandemic. So economic factor, financial factor also caused the students to pull out. That's also one of the big hit for HOTS Edu, when the pandemic started.
Is it the first initiation that made you launch the online platform itself?
So when that happened, I talked to parents, I talked to the children, I observed what is needed, think it through. So actually back in 2015, I already started with the platform ideas. But I put it on hold because there's a lot of things that need to be done for the offline lesson at the time. when this pandemic hit, the economic, financial, and then how to make the online learning becoming active, make me think again, what should we do? Yeah, so talking, observing, listening to the problems, and then make some discussion with my staff and my teachers, also my daughters, I came up with the idea of troubleshooting class.
So the first idea that came up before having an online platform is having a troubleshooting class. That's the first idea.
Yes, that's the first. That's how I came across the idea of the online learning through platform, because the idea behind the troubleshooting is non-fixed monthly fee. Yeah, so students can just request for the class when he or she need it, and then they have the flexibility of time to choose the day and the time itself. Why that I give them the flexibility of choosing the day and time? Because one of the feedback that I got from the children, they really have lots of homework, lot of assignments, lot of everything during the online school. They cannot attend like a fixed tuition hour. So that's why I try to create something that is useful for them and is flexible enough for them to choose based on their own availability of free time.
Maybe before we proceed, can you tell us a little bit more? Before having the troubleshooting class or online platform, what are the classes or services provided by HOTS Education?
Okay, so HOTS Education basically help in the learning process. We are not focusing on just getting the high grade in a test. Yeah, but we actually have bigger scope of focus. So we are actually trying to fix the study habit, fix the repetitions of the learning, give them practices that stimulate the higher order thinking skills. And here's the case. Parents often expect that we have to give like past year papers tests to the kids. Because often schools give similar kind of questions. So they thought that just by doing that, the kids can score higher in the test. But we go beyond that. What we want is how the kids solve the problems, yeah, how they stimulate their thinking, how they become responsible, they have the good study habit, they have the exam skill. It's the whole picture that we are actually looking for. So actually what the parents and the students, I want this, I want a perfect test grade. Yeah, I want this, I want the past test paper. But HOTS Education, not just giving them what they want, but we're actually giving them what they need. So actually what they need in the future is not the past paper, because they will not be with the same school all the time, right? And then you will not have past paper in university.
Yeah.
Right? So what actually we give them what they need.
Is it by everyday classes?
Correct. Because there's no other way that you can build a habit if you only give the kids lessons like once in a week meeting or twice in a week meeting. How are you going to create a habit with that kind of frequency, right? The only way that you can create a habit is by giving them the repetition of similar behavior. Yeah. Even scientifically proven that memory will last in your brain. Say you have tests within a week. Yeah. So you should do it today, and then the next day, and then the next day, and then the next day. And then you will retain, your brain will retain that memory longer. It's already scientifically proven.
Okay. So the regular class that the HOTS Education have is like everyday classes from Mondays to Saturday, is it, Miss?
Yeah. To Saturday, we have our classes, but actually because we give a lot of flexibility, there's a lot of class repetition, like I said, so the kids will remember better, they can retain information better, they actually can choose,
between the Monday and Saturday.
But we give them the 6 days choices,
and that's for every subject available on their school.
Yes, we have every single subject, you name it, that they have it at school. For the international, not for the national.
Yeah, for the international.
Because for HOTS Education, for the offline, we are focusing on the international curriculum, but we don't have Mandarin.
What are the curriculums, Miss?
We focus on the MOE, which is for the primary. This is the Singapore curriculum. And then we have the Cambridge, which is the IGCSE, AS, and the A2. And then we have also the IB.
Okay. So pretty much everything for the international curriculum. And so the difference between troubleshooting class is that troubleshooting gives the flexibility for the students to choose anytime they want to learn. Yeah. How did it came up? I mean, why did you think about troubleshooting class at the first place? If you told us that habit is very important, so once a week lesson is not gonna be suffice for them?
Okay, yes, I agree that you can request troubleshooting class daily.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. You can actually troubleshooting class, you can request it daily. Yeah, you can
Mm-hmm.
request for one lesson, two lesson daily. Because the one of the factors why I make troubleshooting class is because of the financial factors, the economic factors. Because a lot of parents said that their business was badly hit by pandemic, which is also is affecting HOTS education. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
also I'm trying to find a cheaper solution. Yeah, so
Mm-hmm.
they don't have to be committed to pay monthly fee, but you can still frequently request for the troubleshooting, because we have currently one of the student user that requests for the troubleshooting class every day. Yeah,
Okay.
and then
Yeah.
she can request for like more than one session a day.
Okay. So what is the difference between this regular class and troubleshooting besides the time? Maybe because regular class is a fixed schedule that you have to pay monthly, but troubleshooting class
Yes,
is session that you just pay
yes.
whenever you book the session. Is there any other differences? Because the
Yeah,
money value is different.
the other difference is for the other regular online classes, it can become an offline when the pandemic is under control. Yeah, it will be back to offline. While
Oh,
troubleshooting will always be online. Troubleshooting, we have shorter duration. It's only a 60 minutes,
yeah.
while our regular is like a 90 minutes classes.
Now, the one that you just tell us is about troubleshooting class only, but what about the whole HOTS education online
Yes,
platform?
actually, I put the troubleshooting class for use in June 2020. But at that time, our platform wasn't ready. So the choosing of the schedule is still done manually. So we look for the availability of the teachers when the student requests for the subject and the time and the day.
Mm-hmm.
So we still do it manually to find the teachers. So when I was chatting with my daughters, she asked me these questions. Mom, why you always only focus on the weak students? Why you always
Mm-hmm.
focus on the students who need a lot of help? How about the
Mm-hmm.
students who actually already good and they are independent learner? They don't
Mm-hmm.
need regular help, but sometimes any independent learner will still need help to discuss or maybe to
Yeah.
check their work.
Mm-hmm.
And he gave me the idea of the solution.
Oh,
Yeah.
solution.
Yeah, so solution is when independent learner can subscribe in our platform, and then they can ask questions. They can just upload their questions in the solutions, and then the teachers will respond to the question asked, and it's a 24-hour service.
So the solution is the name of the feature.
Yeah, now we have solutions and troubleshooting as a full online education platform.
Mm-hmm.
So I pair it, and I thought that, help abbreviation is SOS, right?
Oh, so
Yeah. So
yeah,
that's
so
why that's
this
how I come up
online,
with the name SOS.
so the whole online service from HOTS education is called as SOS.
Yes, stands for Study Online Solutions.
What is the goal or the purpose of this HOTS education online platform?
Okay. The purpose is, of course, to provide more affordable education learning process that maybe like if it's an offline, of course, there are a lot of costs involved. So we try to make it more affordable, of course, because we try to price it as low as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and of course, by platform, it means that it can reach wider children. Where you resided doesn't matter.
Even outside Indonesia, we'll be
Yes,
able to use
sure.
the.
Yeah, so it can reach the whole Indonesia. It can reach even to overseas. Yeah, and of course, with a very, very affordable price.
Okay, we're going on to our last question of the day. So as we know, you have two different business process, if we can say. The online one for independent learners who need help during their independent studying
Mhm.
process, whereas the offline one has the purpose to create habits for the students, for the weaker students,
Yes,
yeah,
yes.
probably who needs more help and to be more focused during their learning process. But what are the values do you uphold in running both of these businesses?
Okay, the values for sure is to help kids with their learning process. That's the ultimate values, because I do believe that every child have a smart brain. Yeah, it's
Mm-hmm.
just a matter on how you guide this particular child. Yeah, so what we do is, like I already said before earlier, that it's to create habit, good study habit. Yeah, and it's
Mm-hmm.
also to help them to be able to be problem solver.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and also to make them to be a disciplined person. responsible and disciplined. Because no matter how smart you are, if you don't have the discipline part, just like one of the greatest scientists in the world, in the universe, Albert Einstein ever said once, without discipline, no human can reach their success. It's actually the way you discipline yourself, organize yourself, that can bring you far. And also the skill. So all this, we taught the kids, we guide them, besides just helping them with the school difficulties. There was once that HOTS education was called tuition center for the dumb. So actually there's no dumb kid. The kid was just need extra help. In the past, when we started, we have a student who cannot complete his exam within the time frame given. There was also a student who called useless in mathematics. But we took those students and we trained them properly, we guide them properly, and that particular student who never completed the exam within the time frame given, at the end, before he left his primary school, he completed his exam within the time. So what is actually the best education for kids? To train someone who is really smart to stay smart? No. It to make someone who is uncomfortable about themselves, who's not confident about themselves, and you turn that around. You turn that kids to become someone who is confident, who feel comfort within himself or herself. And then achieving more than he initially or she initially thought that he or she could achieve. That is education. So our core values is still that. So like I said earlier, parents and children think this is what I want, but host edu always give them what they need. And put this in mind. Never once whatever helps edu did is by try and error. When we do something, when we decide of doing something to improve, whether it's our service, whether it's our teaching method, whether it's our guidance method, it's never by try and error. We always observe, we listen to the feedback, we discuss about it, and then we come up with the solution. Because we never try and error with children.
Yes, very well said, Ms. Susi. Thank you very much for your time. So I guess that's pretty much everything you need to know about HOTS Education and our latest online platform, www.hotsedu.com. So if you'd like to learn more about the product itself and the platform itself, you can directly visit the website, or you can visit us on Instagram at HOTS_education. You can follow us as well on TikTok at HOTS_education. And please do subscribe to our channel in YouTube to watch more series of Hot Talks, so you can be updated about what is happening in the educational industry, especially in Indonesia. So I would like to say thank you very much, Ms. Susi, for your time today. We do hope that the values that the HOTS education holds will be delivered well to the public and to all the students and the parents worldwide.
Okay, thank you so much, Ms. Leah, for having me. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.